see Curry wincing right now. Curry is limping. He's upset.
You don't win without Steph Curry.
They hunted Steph Curry.
And he just like, enjoy y'all last win.
He wasn't letting us lose.
Oh, Steph Curry from way downtown.
Under incredible pressure.
Step back, three-pointer. Bang! Steph Curry with an incredible performance.
Amidst Boston's dominance in this year's finals, seeing the struggles of the Mavericks only bring back memories of the game Steph Curry dismantled the Boston Celtics. Albeit this Celtics team is better than that of 2 years ago, but it takes nothing away from the game that derailed their title hopes only 2 years ago, single-handedly at hand of Steph Curry. A legacy of innovation, excellence, and competitiveness were captified in one single night. That's in a story of legendary games. It goes down as the greatest performance in Steph Curry's career, given the stats, stakes, opposition. And I think there's a lot more to this game outside of the lens of the casual fan. A captivating performance that left an expectant Boston crowd speechless. The 8th of June, 8:28 PM. The Warriors are in the midst of a fourth quarter collapse, eyeing a 2-1 series deficit, and Steph diving for a loose ball.
Steph Curry is laying down. You see Curry wincing right now.
Millions at home collectively halt, as the concern on Steph's face heightens. In these moments, any thoughts of a fourth ring with this core were set aside. Fortunately, he could limp his way through the next couple minutes before checking out. But the damage had already been done, and the Warriors were down 2-1, facing the difficult task of going back to Boston to even it up. But in a telling sign of confidence, Steph had a psychotic look, as if he was plotting and scheming his next attack on Boston. He smiled this shot, but looked possessed and angered the other times they panned over to it, just staring off into the distance. A look synonymous with the league's all-time greats that when needed most and up against the wall, they know what needs to be done. Adding to it, in the conclusion of Game 3, Steph told Boston,
And he just like, enjoy y'all last win.
Drop the mic.
unrivaled confidence and expectation, especially considering the pressure on Steph in Game 4. Before this finals, Steph's legacy was solidified, of course, but there were always question marks.
I want to see a clean championship. Steph's the best player in the finals, and because of that, they win.
They say in 15 he faced a Cavs team without Kyrie and Kevin Love and didn't even win finals MVP. In 16 they say he choked. 17 and 18, well, they were unbeatable due to the addition of Durant, not the play of Steph. And 19, well, he lost. There had always been that slight asterisk, and with 3-1 heroics unlikely in this year's finals, Game 4 was the game to rewrite his story. One that could lead a Warriors team to a ring as the clear-cut best player against a healthy team. And for the matter of fact, in this year's finals, he was the clear-cut best player on either team. He just had to win the whole thing. In spite of the end result, the level of play from the Celtics team goes under the radar. Not often you get a like-for-like matchup with the DPOY on the team's best player in the NBA Finals. Marcus Smart on Steph Curry. A half-court defense that leading up to the finals was the greatest since 2004 in the playoffs statistically. A switchable, aggressive and physical defense likened for its ability to contain Steph Curry. And considering the pain in his lower leg, it was only going to get harder from here. So irrespective of how it ended, in the moment and after the fact, this Celtics team was no joke. And for Game 4 were clear favourites to win the title. A panelist of the Athletic experts all picking the Celtics to take Game 4 and continue on to win the championship.
The Warriors have to come out and play with desperation, because if you go down 3-1, your chances are very slim.
So as we inch closer to Game 4, the status of Steph Curry lingered in the air, but Steph cleared any doubts of his availability.
I'm going to play. That's all I know right now.
It sounds to me like he's hurting.
Injured or not, Steph was going to play. And as the clock struck 8:30 PM in Boston, the two teams tipped off. Boston tipping off to firmly put one hand on the Larry O'Brien trophy if they hadn't already, and the Warriors to stay within the realm of doing that. And after an even start nearing the end of the first quarter,
Curry, another long distance shot. It's good. Steph Curry Boston's threes and a 5-point lead for the Warriors.
Curry says, hey, we are here to play.
The nerve to ignite an already toxic and loud Boston crowd down 2-1. That's a bad man. A man with intentions of not losing. But alongside it, there's a deeper meaning behind the outburst from Steph so early on in the game. Steph predominantly stays within himself, never overexpressing himself, and if so, at the end of games in almost a taunt of the opposition or whatever fired him up at that time. But with 2 minutes left in the first quarter, it had a deeper meaning. Draymond Green, who played one of the worst games of his career in Game 3, 2 points, 6 fouls, and no impact on either side of the ball, particularly offensively where he was virtually unplayable, where the seemingly unshakable Draymond was rattled.
They got 5 perimeter players.
Like Game 3, I was fucking rattled.
So Steph, by targeting a Boston crowd, abusing and mentally affecting Draymond, he took the attention off of Draymond, who would have been murdered otherwise, instead taking the full weight of responsibility.
It was in protection of me. I struggled so bad in Game 3. I was a fucking disaster. And I think he visibly saw that.
Not only taking on all the workload offensively, but also externally from the crowd. Often underappreciated is Steph's leadership and selflessness, and this is a perfect example of his ways. And simply what the all-time greats do. Giannis in Game 6 2021, LeBron in Game 6 2012, and Steph, against all the odds, was doing the same thing himself. But the crazy part about it was that there were 3 quarters left to play for either team to dictate the end result. So we come back to the top of the 4th, where Steph had already asserted himself on this game with 33 points. The Celtics threw everything at him scheme-wise, blitzing him in the pick and roll or switching everything. But Steph had all the answers, finding Draymond off the blitz for the 3-on-2 or simply cooking any switch defender with his tight handle. The best I've ever actually seen his handle. Doing so while negating any Boston runs, particularly in the second half when they seemingly regained control. Most notably hitting 2 ridiculous threes to even the game late in the third, negating a Boston 4-point lead and any chances of extending it.
Second shots.
Curry again. Oh, Steph Curry from way downtown. He's furious. There was contact there. And clearly that time it should have been a whistle.
But in general, he maintained a ridiculous level of shot making through the entire game. The best we may have ever seen considering the difficulty. But either way, with 5 minutes left, the Celtics found themselves up 4 points.
But it felt like Boston's gonna win.
So with championship aspirations on the line, they looked for number 30. After a Wiggins putback dunk, he found Clay for the open go-ahead 3.
Sees Thompson. Thompson fires a 3. Bang! Klay Thompson from downtown.
And sensing blood, he took matters into his own hands, ISOing Robert Williams for the cheap floater.
Flips it up. Shot is good. Steph Curry dancing, prancing, and puts it in.
And having negated Boston's offensive threat entirely, Steph came down the floor with a chance to go ahead by 6.
Curry to Green. Back to Curry. Step back. 3-pointer. Bang! Steph Curry drills the 3. That's a 6-point Warriors lead. Timeout Boston.
3 out of the 4 buckets in the 10-0 stretch came from his own direct play. And again, after an Al Horford 3 to keep them in it, Steph calmly dished the ball off out of the blitz for an easy Looney layup, scoring or assisting on 53 of the Warriors' points, 13 out of 17 coming in the final run. Curry knew the way and seized control of the game in just a few possessions, for the upteenth time in these finals, but in the biggest moment of them all.
Incredible.
Incredible.
So special. I just hope we don't ever lose appreciation for what we just watched.
31 losing this year. Nah, he wasn't.
Amidst the confident Celtics group, Steph shattered any hopes of a ring in a singular game.
You know, that game, there was just a lapse for our group that we just couldn't finish.
A demolishing so brutal it sends shockwaves through an entire city, silencing the vocal and toxic Boston crowd with his arrogance and shot-making. Of course, the Warriors dominated the rest of the series with back-to-back wins. The smiling guard at the end of Game 3, when fan and media optimism were at its lowest, could now smile in triumph, reflecting on his achievement. Back truly against the wall, Game 4 will forever be remembered as the moment Steph Curry etched his name among the immortals of the game, carrying a Golden State team to ring number 4.
What are they gonna say now?